In the 4th century, the North African theologian Augustine understood the New Testament to teach that sometimes violent coercion of heretics and unbelievers was acceptable to secure a Christian nation. He wrote, quote, "You also read how he who was at first Saul and afterwards Paul was compelled by the great violence with which Christ coerced him to know and to embrace the truth." And while there's much to appreciate from this Berber theologian, acts of violence have been justified by different groups based on their understanding of what is right since the beginning of a nationalistic form of Christianity. Jesus knew this all too well, even in his day. Whether it was from Jewish religious leadership or Roman political leaders, acts of violence were most certainly a part of first century Palestine. And he challenged such systems, and his challenge caused division. But not division as we're currently witnessing in our society, and certainly not division as we see in the church of the 21st century. The division he caused surrounded who he was. For example, his identification as God in opposition to both Jewish and Gentile forms of worship was a challenge to those political and religious systems. His commitment to peace, but peace that comes through him and comes through uniting with him, and not the peace that comes from religious and political authorities. His challenge to his disciples to not lord authority over others, instead to serve them, and his call to stand up for justice, to defend the faith, and proclaim the good news as crucial ministries of the church today. Jesus provided a new way to think about the world in which we live, and perhaps the Apostle Paul sums up this sentiment the best in Ephesians chapter 2. "For he himself, Jesus, is our peace, who has made us both one, Jews and Gentiles, and has broken down in his flesh the dividing wall of hostility by creating in himself one new humanity in the place of the two, so making peace, and might reconcile us both to God in one body through the cross, thereby killing the hostility. And he came and he preached peace to you who are far off, and peace to those who were near. For through him we both have access in one spirit to the Father. So then you are no longer strangers and aliens, but you are fellow citizens with the saints and members of the household of God." If we have any hope of change in our society today, might we consider the way of Jesus